Hi, Tarot fam. We are back for a bonus section. My Venezuelan two-part video went just a little bit long. So this is going to be a little bit of a bonus for you. So it was a little quick pause. I apologize. I just thought that thought it was going to be a lot shorter. So let's get to it. We are going to do some cool stuff here. So I'm going to wrap it up with some final interpretations and themes. So this will be a little bit shorter than the other one. So I hope you guys are still paying attention. I hope you're really excited about this. If it's your first time here, if this is the first video you're seeing, I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner and psychic for over 35 years. I cover political, pop culture, and celebrity readings and royal readings. I have a lot of people over there that are royal watchers. So I try and do this as impartially as possible. This is one of my breaking psychic news videos. So my mother wanted me to be a reporter, and here I am reporting the news with a little bit of a psychic spin. So we're going to talk a little bit about some final things just to cover with the engagement of the United States and Venezuela. I'm going to be using the Madame Clara 5-cent tarot and the 2-penny oracle. I will link these down below. It is, I got both of these decks in a bundle from an Etsy shop called Motel Gift Shop, and they have some amazing stuff in there. I don't have any affiliation with them. I think they're great. I love this deck. It's super durable and super fun. And if you are a new reader, it does have interpretations printed right on the deck. So super, super fun, not rider weight based. It can help you learn how to read tarot, and there are some bonus cards in there. So let's pull up the card view. Please hit that like button when you see this. So we're going to make that nice and big. So let's summarize. Is this a forced transition for Venezuela? King of Matches, poor leader. Not necessarily a forced transition, but it is a transition that they needed to remove the avarice, which is the King of Buttons in reverse. So their leadership, unfortunately, former President Nicolas Maduro, not the best leader for the country, didn't really have things in mind. Real quick, we'll take a look at Maduro's future. 3 of Cups, friendship. 2 of Cups, distrust. 8 of Needles, Chariot there. And the Wheel of Fortune in reverse and 2 of Matches. I do think that he is under the impression that there are going to be other countries that are going to come to his rescue and get him out of this. The unfortunate news is that he's a hot potato right now and no one wants to touch him. So I don't think that the exit plan is going to work, or even the contingency plan. According to Trump, he was right at the actual door where he could have gotten into his safe room and escaped that way. Did not happen. The fated part of this, and I know I talk about free will all the time, but the fated part of this is that he has really 8 of Needles here. This is exactly where he needed to be. So the free will aspect of this situation for Maduro was ages ago. He should have made some different choices. He should have made some better friends. He should have eliminated some of the individuals that weren't necessarily working for his best future. The Wheel of Fortune up top, again, a window of opportunity opened where he was going to fall into a pit of despair. 2 of Matches, really, I think they're going to give him some choices here. I think they're going to say, we can do this or we can do that. They're both punishment situations, but I think the end result is really to make sure that he does not get back into power and that people of his ilk do not replace him. We talked about that in one of the other readings about a vacuum of power and how people may jump into that. So temporary control. Is the United States going to relinquish control over Venezuela? King of Cups. We're not going to be happy about it. 10 of Needles. The Messenger, which is another unique card to this deck, Queen of Buttons, Justice up top, and Death in the upright. So what I'm going to say, and this is going to be more advice, the United States, when it is time for us to relinquish control back to Venezuelans, do it. Don't stick around. Don't butt your nose in for longer than you need to. GTFO when the time is right. We have to trust that the good Venezuelans are going to, Queen of Buttons, craft a good future for themselves. We can't hang on. 38 special. Hold on loosely. We can maintain good relationships with them. Don't let go, because if you cling too tightly, you're going to lose control. So yes, hold on loosely. I did quote that. Death, the country is transforming, and we have to allow that to happen. We can't force evolution, maturity, growing up. We can't force that. We have to just let them go through their process. Justice up top, they realize it. They realize what's going on. They know what has been happening, and they're not going to tra-la-la down that lane again. And I'm talking about the Venezuelans that are high-minded, not the ones that say, well, you know, there's a power vacuum here and the gangland has cleared the playing field, so why don't I just step right in? So I do think that we need to kind of let go when it's time to let go. So what else can we look at here? Long-term rebuilding cycles. Let's see what we get for that. Long-term rebuilding, reconciliation, 5 of needles in reverse, 7 of matches, conviction. There's that universe again, infinite growth, detachment from the devil in reverse, 3 of needles up top, and 6 of needles in the future. So this rebuilding cycle for the country, I think is a very good thing. But I do think that we need to allow Venezuela to take the front seat on this. We can loan them the vehicle, but they need to drive it. We can pave the road, but they need to move down it. And there will be pushback from the United States when they see that Venezuela is going to go in a direction that is more appropriate for their people and their sensibilities. But ultimately, I think this is going to be a good thing. I do think if power and control is handed over to the people and the framework is established for them, they're not going to do it exactly the same way as the United States. But I think if we have a delicate hand in this, I think that we see a stronger and a better Venezuela, and a Venezuela that has a seat at the table in the world oil production. I'm going to say that. I think that we see them as a really, really powerful resource for that. I think this is an exciting time for Venezuela. This isn't the end of the story. This is an opening chapter. We're going to see pressure toward order, not necessarily permanence, hopefully. Fingers crossed on that one. It's a restructuring phase, not, I don't want to say final solution, but it's not a final solution. I don't want to make any comments that sound like World War II. But I do think that this is really exciting. I don't like how this was done under the cover of, no one knew, but I do think that we are going to see some excitement come out of this. And I do think that, just correcting there we go. I think that this is a conversation that is going to be had for quite some time. So Let me know what you think. As always, this channel is driven by your questions and comments and your reading requests. I want to deliver what you guys want to hear about. This no one asked me about, but you know I love my politics. You know I love my geopolitics, and I really wanted to see what was going on behind the cards. So drop your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think. Please be respectful. Please don't fight in the comments. We all have our opinions. If you are Venezuelan or have Venezuelan heritage, I would love to hear what you have to think. I've never been to Venezuela, and I don't have a lot of Venezuelan friends, but I'm very curious how some of you are feeling about this. So please let me know if you want me to look at something specific about the situation in the future. If you want your own magical reading, you can book one down at Calendly or at the Hypsee link. I want you guys to stay curious, stay grounded, and most of all, come back and see me in the future. Thanks so much for watching.